Hello, today I am going to talk about the technique called Phowa. Phowa means the soul when the body crashes, crumbles and dies. The Atma leaves the thing from the Brahmandra. It is called as the Phowa. What you call, the Tibetan calls it as the transference of the soul through the Brahmandra. This is a technique which is being done by the yogi towards their end of the life, or they keep on practicing to the point where they die consciously. That is why if you see, when the Kanchi Mahaperiyar died, of course they didn't know how the soul left. There are 7 chakras in the body. Now each person will die according to their karma, and the soul will slip in the hole of the chakra. For example, there was an old lady who was near my house. She actually, she defecated just before her death. Her daughter told very, very beautifully that my mother had, Atma had passed away through the anal passage. Now, when you die through the anal passage, actually these people are born in the lower realms. There are people who live with the different parts of the body. They live through the eyes, they live through the mouth, they live through the nose, they live through the ears, they live through the throat chakra, they live through the heart chakra. Different people die in different way. It is a yogi who compresses the prana and apana and sends the soul spinning through the Brahmandra, and that is why he is supposed to die. But many of the time, the Indian saints who have not died like that, that is why for Kanchi Periyava, what they did is, they hit the Brahmandra and they opened the skull to show symbolically that he has passed away in this particular manner across as a person. Therefore, it is very, very important that you look at the yogi and see whether they have passed away in a particular manner. So you have to first understand that soul leaves the body through the 7 chakras or through the 5 senses. Lower soul actually leave through the lower chakras. The higher soul leaves through the higher chakras. And also, higher the leaving, easier to be born into the higher realm and to have possibility of greater rebirth. For example, people who are very interested in music will leave through the ears. People who are very visual will leave through the eyes. Some people who are very, very oriented towards the speech will leave towards the mouth. That's why when somebody dies, they say, and they die like that as a person. Now, when you have to leave through the Brahmandra is how you will get enlightened. And also, if you see Swami Vivekananda, there was a time when one of his disciples saw him, he was doing a puja, and suddenly the skull cracked open and there was a blood flowing through all his ears, nose, and he crumbled to death. He left through the Brahmandra and he died at a very, very early age. That is the yogi getting the mukti and dying. There was another great saint called Patinatha. His time had come for the time of death. So people, they asked him, he took the help of little kids. The little kids actually covered him till here with the sand. And then he ripped open the Brahmandra because he needed that gravity to hit him and to come out of it. And he passed away like that. This is the technique called as the Phowa, Phowa. And it is said in the Tibetan Buddhism that if you master Phowa, that even if you do any evil deeds, the karma does not affect you, because this is the most important technique of living through the Brahmandra. The other most important thing is the Darbha grass is taken across like this, and the Darbha grass, if you see the photograph, if you have mastered Phowa, this Darbha grass can go inside this particular area. That is a small opening will be there and it can be easily going inside. That is why if you see the yogis, this particular area for the babies and for the yogis will be very, very soft across as a person, because this is a very, very important point of exit for the soul. Now, how do you practice? You sit down in Padmasana or whatever asana is required, Gorakasana or anything like that. You imagine the blue flame of light which comes across and goes towards the Brahmandra. Again and again you will have to practice this visualization till it becomes natural, automatic, spontaneous. That is, the soul seat is there. It is blue in color. It is the thumbnail says as what it is being described in Bhagavad Gita. You don't need to visualize. Imagine the soul which is leaving through the mouth and it reaches through the Brahmandra, it reaches. Now you'll have to keep practicing it for lakhs time, 5 lakh time, 10 lakh time. Then you will be ready and prepared. This area will become softer and softer. You will be able to insert a darba grass into this particular area. Now this is a very, very important technique called as the Phowa, which is not practiced very, very common in India, but it was very, very popular in India and it had moved to the Tibet. They say that when you die through the Brahmandra, you actually go to the heaven, you go to the realm of gods very, very easily across the person. There are people who are not aware that they do lot of sin. The Apana Vayu opens up and they go directly towards the lower world, that is through the Sagasa, towards the basic chakra, the navel chakra, the solar plex chakra. Especially people who are going to the Kubijika hell, Maharaurava hell, leave actually through the anal passage. So you please understand this and practice the technique. It is called as the Phowa. It is not well known in India by the so-called saints, the current saints, because they have never read. They simply propagate something very, very simple. If you want to learn advanced technique, if you want to learn techniques which are really out of the world in spirituality, please do share this. This is called as Phowa. It is available in the internet. You can see it, Phowa. Thank you so much.